You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
Welcome back to the program. Joining me now, Tim Griffin, Arkansas's Attorney General. Always good to see you.
Great to see you, Roby. Thank you.
I'm just going to call you Tim.
Call me Tim. Do not call me anything. If I get a star on my shoulder in the Army, you can call me General.
Oh, there we go. How about that?
So, call me Tim. Call me Tim.
All right. Let's talk about criminal justice reform. It is going to be a dominant issue in this legislative session. First of all, I know you are helping construct the legislation to begin with. What's the over-under on the amount of pages it's going to be? And when are we going to see the first draft of this thing?
Well, look, the folks at BLR, Bureau of Legislative Research, are working on some of the language with legislators now. I'm not a legislator. I'm certainly not the governor. But I feel very passionate about our public safety, not just as an elected official, but as someone who lives just a few miles from here in Little Rock. This is a statewide problem of public safety, and we've got to address it. I have been looking at this, working on this for about a year, maybe even a little over a year, and I expect big changes in the way we do business in this state in terms of public safety, and I don't see any daylight at all from my conversations with Governor Sanders and Senator Ben Gilmore, who's leading in the Senate, Representative Jimmy Gazaway in the House. Had great conversations, numerous conversations with them. And so I think it's going to be a real team effort. Work some with Senator Hammer as well.
So when are we going to see a bill? Next week?
I don't know when
after.
BLR will have it done, but I'd like to see it yesterday. I know what my ideas are. I have communicated them. And I am not a legislator, but I have very specific, definitive, passionate views on the structure. And obviously, the governor's priorities are critically important. Again, I don't see any daylight between what the governor wants to do, what I want to do. So I'm working with her and the legislators. I don't know when this document's going to come out, but I can give you some of my views.
Yeah, let's clip
I can't
through.
speak for the governor.
Well, let's clip
she
through
does a great job speaking for herself.
She does. Let's clip through what some of the details will be. First of all, there will be longer sentences for violent criminals.
Yeah.
Tell me what are people serving now, and what do you want to see that propelled
real
to?
Quickly. So it's not so much that the sentences will be longer, it's that they will actually serve, what they're given. So we want truth in sentencing. Right now we have deception in sentencing because people in Arkansas who are convicted of a crime, and we're talking felonies in particular, they serve a tiny fraction of what they're given.
1/6, 1/5, 1/4?
Even less. 1/6, 1/7 even. So some people will get 10 years and they may serve a year and a half, 2 years. Some people may be out and get 20 and serve 4. Then there's the emergency release because we don't have sufficient capacity. So here's the deal. The federal system says you will do all of your sentence, but you can earn up to 15% meritorious or good time if you don't get in trouble.
So
but
you
only
wind up serving 85%.
You're going to do 85% in the federal system.
Is that what's going to be in this bill?
That will be a part of this bill. If I have my way, I will tell you this. Criminals who are arrested in this state, the first question they ask, am I going federal or state? The Wynn police chief told me they ask that all the time. I've heard it all around the state. Let me tell you this. If they hear they're going federal, they cry.
Yeah.
If they hear they're going state, they laugh.
Yeah.
Because they know one sends them away for a long time, one puts them right out on the street. Let me say this. We got crime all over the state, here in Little Rock, all over the state. I've been tracking this for a year. When it's in the media, I track it. Most of this crime, a significant part of it, is driven by people who have been arrested numerous times for violent crime and should have never been released in the first place. So they're going to serve more of their sentence, but let me say this, it's going to be scaled. So for violent crimes, you're either going to have 0 parole or you'll serve 85% like the federal. If it's nonviolent, then there's a 50% category and a 25% category, but so you'll get the whole sentence, but you can earn your way out by getting a degree, learning how to weld, learning how to drive a truck, learning how to be an electrician. So it puts the onus on the prisoner. You get in prison and you don't earn that down, you're there for the whole time. The current system says, doesn't really matter what you do, we're letting you out early. We had one example of a guy that had 17 violations. He had violations in 17 of the 24 months he was in prison. He got a 12-year sentence, was out in 24 months.
Yep.
Okay? Even though he had committed all this misconduct in prison. The bottom line is we have got to have the default as you do the sentence you're given, because it's deceptive to the public.
All right,
Roby.
Twofold question here. So there's going to be a price tag for
there
putting
is.
people in
Yes, there
prison
is.
longer.
Absolutely.
And we're already building a new prison to supposedly create another 1,000 beds, which we could fill up today.
Yeah, let me address that.
So how big will the prisons be?
Yeah, let me address
and
that.
How do you have a price tag on what all of this stuff's going to cost?
So let me address the general construct, which is, can't believe we got to spend all this money. Let me tell you what, we are 20 years behind. When you don't clean I tell my kids, when you don't clean your room daily or weekly, it gets really, really bad. And you have to fumigate the dang thing. Well, let me tell you, we have delayed building prison capacity for decades.
How big is the prison space we're going to add?
Okay, so we need minimum 3 in my view.
3,000.
Yeah, and here's why. Let me say this to all of our people who go, oh, we don't need to build prisons. Let me tell you something. The truth is, we've been building prisons. We've been building them for years as a matter of practice and a practical matter, because we have been quietly pushing our violent felons into, they don't have room in state prison. Right. We've been pushing them into county jails, which has basically made county jails useless for the purpose of putting misdemeanors, DUIs, etc. So we have basically made misdemeanor justice irrelevant. So you've been building them. You've just been doing it by pushing people out of county jails. So we need 3,000 to cover the 2,000 that are in county jails that shouldn't be, and another 1,000 for growth. But I think ultimately we're going to need like 5. And you go, oh, that's so many. It's so many because for 20 years this has been ignored. Prosecutors and what their needs have been ignored. Even the defense side, which is constitutionally required, it's been ignored. Our criminal justice system has been underfunded. Do we have to spend money? Yes. People say we can't afford it. Let me tell you something. We can't afford not to do this. If you want to run jobs out of our state,
5,000 prison beds, though, you're talking as much as $500 million to create a new
I'm going to let the legislature
But you're okay with that? $500 million for prison beds?
The fundamental...
Not to mention the other programs that you're talking about,
yeah,
that you're going to have another price tag.
Whatever the price tag is, using money wisely, whatever the price tag is, yes, I'm good with it. Because here's the deal. Just like national defense, it is fundamental responsibility of government to keep people safe. I love bike trails. I love all the other stuff. That's great if government can do it. But the number one responsibility of government is to keep its citizens safe. And if it fails that, it has failed at a fundamental point. If you're not safe, you're not free. If you can't go to parts of town at night because you're scared you're going to get a bullet in you, you're not free. It's outrageous, my friend. And so it's been a long time coming. This is where we've got to invest. We have to get repeat violent offenders incapacitated where they cannot do your family harm and everybody else's family harm.
I got to wrap it up there. All right, Attorney General Tim Griffin, thank you for being here.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Let's rock and roll on this. We need it badly.
All right, we're back with more right after this.